Hello and welcome back to my channel. Hey world. I know it's been a minute since I dropped a video and it's been like 2 weeks, but it felt like forever. Like it even feels kind of new now that I'm actually back. But I really had to take a break. And it started with the whole Black Lives Matter thing, and it just took me, like, emotionally, it took me. Like, I was really angry, like, I was angered by the stuff that I was seeing, and some of the stuff, you know, that was being spread and whatnot, I had already seen before, but during that Black Lives Matter week and the Blackout Tuesday situation, so much videos popped up and it just resurfaced, and it was just like, wow, like we really hate it out here in these streets. But it was also like a good time as well, because the whole Black Lives Matter thing, it really exposed a lot of hatred, division, exposed the confusion, the ignorance of a lot of people that we literally just walk around with on a casual. And I think that's the scary thing in England anyway, is it's very subtle, and you know, you could be standing next to somebody, they really be hating on you, like their mindset, they're just really disgusted with your presence. And that was interesting. For someone like me, I'm just a bit of an observer and I like to look at people's actions and characters and stuff like that. So it was really interesting for me. But in that 2 weeks that I took out, you know, I've taken some time to really think about solutions, and what am I going to do to move forward, because I'm not somebody that likes to stay in a place of being a victim. So I was really looking at, you know, how I can move forward and what I could do to move forward. So I came up with 3 things, because I like the power of 3, triple B. So the first point I put up was really just educating yourself. Educating yourself in who you are, not what the world says that you are, but actually educating yourself on who you really are. And as a African woman myself, as a Congolese woman, you know, I went back and went to just educate myself about my history, my country's history, how it was dismantled as a country. And you know, some people, you look at the statistics and you see your country is the poorest country in the world or second to poorest country in the world, but when you actually go deep into it, into understanding that your country is the wealthiest in resources, but it's just how they, you know, write it out or tell you how it is, you start to look at it as the poorest country. But if you flip it on its head and actually research about your country, you understand that your country is the richest country in wealth and resources, and it flips your mentality, and you start to understand that, okay, my country may be the poorest economically, but the reason why it's the poorest economically, because it's been dismantled, because it's been the richest country in the world in regards to resources. We're not going to run out. Our phones, our laptops, everything that has any electronic device in it is from coltan, which is mainly produced in Congo, in DRC. So when that is flipped on its head, where would we be without Congo? Because technology has taken over the world. So you need to really, that's just a simple example, but you really need to understand your value as a person. You need to understand your value as your heritage, your history, because people tend to tell you who you are, and that seems to be the case anyway. Growing up, they tell you that you're black, you're this, you're that, then they teach you about slavery and how you were slaves and all of this stuff. But when you go into actual deep understanding of African history, you know, we were queens, we were kings, we had civilization before they brought civilization to us. We had medicine, natural stuff like that, all of those kind of stuff. And you go into like the whole Dr. Sebi thing of how we are different beings, and we are different in regards to the melanin that we have inside of us, and how our body functions is different. And you, as a person, you really need to understand that and identify yourself with that, because that is your true identity. When you know your true identity, that is when you'll be able to change the narrative to educate your kids, or the kids after that, or the people around you, your family, about who you really are. Because you, when they tell you who you are, that controls your narrative. But when you find out who you are, there's a different power there, because you control the narrative, you control the way people speak to you, and you control the way people judge you or stereotype you as a person. So that was very, very powerful for me to look into, even though I've had a history of knowing my Congolese history and all that kind of stuff. But I had to remind myself, you know, sometimes you just have to remind yourself about how powerful you are in these streets. Second, money matters. You already know I love talking about money anyway, but money really and truly does matter. Like, everything that you see around you was once money, okay? Money is a controlling factor, and it's not just the paper itself, but it's the stuff that you can get with having that power of money. And a lot of the people that are controlling the narrative right now have plenty of it, so therefore they can control what you see. Like, simple facts that, you know, I found out when I was studying media in secondary school is that like a lot of our newspapers are backed by like Labour or Conservative, or there was this one guy, I think it was Rupert Murdoch or whatever, who controls most of the media, Sky News and all of this, and he's just going around buying out channels and stuff like that. They control what you see, they control what you are told, so they control the narrative. So there's a lot of things on the media where people are, you know, saying, okay, on the media, black people are called thugs, are called this when something happens, this, that, you know what I'm saying? There's a certain way they talk about black people, and there's a certain way where they talk about white people, and there was a certain way they talked about the Black Lives Matter protest, and there was a certain way they talked about the whole anti-racist or the whatever that they were, the right, whatever, far right, whatever they were called. There's a different way they spoke about them, and that's because the writers control the narrative. So if we as people level up in the way that we spend our money, control our money, then we can create tables for ourselves. We can create our own media platforms. We can create all of this stuff to control our narrative of what we want to expose or speak about or pour into interest, because we know where we need help, you know. And I'm against aid in all types of way, like foreign aid, benefits, all of these kind of stuff. I'm against it because it dismantles your creative spirit, because you now feel like, okay, cool, if I need help, I need to go to Western society, and this is what Africans do, right? We rely on aid from the Western world to help us with our needs. Do you get what I mean? So when you are relying on the Western world, or you're relying on aid, it stops you from thinking, okay, how can I do this for myself? How can I work this out for myself? And this is why I'm saying, when we are in a better place financially, we're better place with our resources, we'll be able to structure things between ourselves in order to help our people. Until we're able to do that, they're just gonna walk all over us, to be fair. And that's my opinion, and that's why I say money matters, because money can control the narrative, money controls the media, money controls how the financial resources are distributed and stuff like that. You know, some of the government and all of that kind of stuff, you know, they're controlled by money and parties and stuff like that. You can buy politicians, you can buy all these things, you can buy the media. So when you have money, you control the narrative. I don't know if you guys get what I'm talking about, but if you are interested in any of those kind of things, just let me know and I will put some recommendations downstairs, not downstairs, in the description box for all the stuff that I've read and educated myself on for the last 2 weeks and through life in general. And then my last point is the economic empowerment. Economic empowerment is important because when you have economic power, you're able to then manage your own financial resources and you're able to put your interests onto the table. Okay, the reason why it's important, economic empowerment just for our community but also economic power for Africa, is because you don't see them doing things to Chinese people, Russians, Koreans, Asians, or whatever, because they have an economic power. Like, you know, if you mess with Chinese people be like, I'm stopping all of this from coming, or sanctions or whatever. But as an African continent, we're not even looked at in the power leagues in society. So they can do whatever they want. Who's going to step up for you? Do you know what I mean? Who's going to step in on for you the way they're abusing black people? Who's going to step in for you? Because there's no economic empowerment. We do not have our own economic body or power or authority to put in the interests of its people. So a lot of things that I've been researching, especially in the US, because the US and the UK, you know, it was a bit slightly different. But as I said, the UK is not innocent, but slightly different. But in the US, you know, a lot of people are fighting for the black people to have their own, not own party, but their own, own party kind of thing. And then their vote goes to whichever party puts their interests, into their policies or whatever in law and stuff like that. So becoming your own body gives you power, because whatever party is going to be fighting for your voice, because your voice needs to be put in place for a party to win, right? So it's understanding your power and empowering yourself. And as an economic empowerment, the things we can do is support black businesses, black owned businesses, and also empower ourselves economically for our financial leveling up. Simple. The more we support black businesses, the more we as black people will become more self-determined and help ourselves. We're the only ones that know our needs. You can see it blatantly now, you know, when Black Lives Matter people are saying all lives matter and all of this kind of stuff, because they're ignorant. They don't understand the issues that we face. Only we understand it and we can see it. Some people do. Like there's one lady called Miss Elliot or something like that. She's a real G out in these streets. I'll try and find and leave a description, her information description box, about how, you know, black people go through things differently to white people and their white privileges that they have. But going back to the point of helping other black businesses, once we support each other, we create our own economy. And black people, the black community, is the first community to depart with their money. There's something I watched where it says Asian people, they don't depart with their money first. They go, and it could be because Asian people own all the corner shops and stuff like that. So you're gonna go to the corner shop, you're gonna help your brother, blah 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 blah, before you go and buy a PlayStation, which is an American business kind of thing. But black people, as soon as you walk into a shop, it's owned by a Turkish person, it's owned by somebody else. Here, even black African shops are owned by Asians. So you're departing with your money straight away into another community from the jump, because we don't go to support our other black businesses. So until we're able to keep money in the community and grow as a community, we're always going to be lacking. So there's so much things that we need to do as the people for ourselves to grow. But yeah, I don't want to go too into it. It'll be too long of a video, but that's basically been my thought processes for the last 2 weeks. And yeah, I hope I've made it quite clear. But yeah, Black Lives Matter. We didn't say only, we just said they matter. But thank you for tuning in. I'll be back on my money topics as usual in the next video. And I'll be back, like I'm back now. But please do look into your history. Please do understand that you're beautiful, you're amazing, you're strong. And you know, we're equal, even though we only fought for civil rights, but we are equal. Okay, see you soon.